Senior phase is such an important phase in a learner's school career. It's of course the last year of primary school where we should be consolidating everything that the learners learned in the other phases. And then of course it's the first 2 years of high school where we should be looking at the grounding that the learners need to be able to choose their subjects for FET. And this is often a problem because obviously it's split between the two schools. So as much communication between schools within a phase is so essential. The 27.5 hours per week, as stipulated by the curriculum, is the instructional time that teachers should be spending on the 9 official school subjects for senior phase. Now, of course, these subjects or this time excludes anything like assemblies, intervals, library or computers or any other activity that's not included in these official subjects. If we have a look at the spread of time and the division between how much time we should be spending on each subject, you'll notice that about half the week is actually spent on your 2 languages, your home language and your first additional language, and then mathematics. With natural sciences and social sciences each spending about 11%, so that's 22% of your week, and then the rest of the subjects each on 7%. And this is important to note that we have to spend this time on the subject. It is stipulated by policy. Here the time allocation is given in hours per week. So when setting up a timetable, you need to make sure that you've got those are the minimum hours you may spend on each subject per week. In senior phase, there are 7 levels of achievement and 7 codes. So your number 1 or your code 1 is your not achieved, which falls between 0 and 29%. And then of course your highest achievement, your outstanding achievement, would be a code 7, which has learners fall between 80 and 100%. In senior phase, marks are recorded and reported in national codes with their descriptions and their percentages, which means that on the learner's report, the learner should get a code per subject with a description. So in the case of a code being a 5, then you'd have substantial achievement, and then the mark range or the percentage range of what the learner achieved. So in other words, a code 5 is between 60 and 69%. Now the weighting of the marks comes from both school-based assessment or continuous assessment and examinations. And the balance between these or the weighting between these is 40% from continuous or school-based assessment and 60% from exams. Now this weighting only comes into play at the end of the year when you're calculating the learner's progression and promotion result. So if we have a look at how do we get to the end of year final code or mark? Well, the first thing to note is obviously you've got the 4 terms. Term 1, 2 and 3, you're going to have school-based assessment. A percentage of this will contribute to the term or to the school-based assessment from each term. And it's going to differ from subject to subject, and that will be given in your policy document, in your CAPS policy document. So term 1, 2 and 3 each has a contribution to the final continuous assessment mark for the learners. And this of course weights 40% of the overall mark. Then in term 4, the learners will do an end of year exam, and this weights 60%. So together, the 40 and the 60% will give you the 100% total mark of what the learner achieves at the end of the year. And this will decide, that percentage will then be converted into code, and that will decide whether the learner is progressed or promoted. Now let's have a look, and obviously this is done per subject. Let's have a look at what are the progression promotion requirements for learners in senior phase. Learners in senior phase are required for home language to get adequate achievement, which is a level 4. So this means a learner needs to receive a mark or achieve a mark between 50 and 59%. In both first additional language and mathematics, it is a level 3, which is between 40 and 49%. Then the learner needs to get a moderate achievement, level 3, which is 40 to 49%, in any 3 remaining subjects. So of the subjects that are left, any 3 remaining subjects need to get a level 3, and then any of the other 2 need to be a level 2. And of course, a level 2 is between 30 and 39%. Now, these progression promotion requirements are policy and law and stipulated in the policy guideline document. It's a national document, and often what happens is the provinces bring out their own requirements due to many different reasons. So make sure when you're looking at this that there isn't a circular or policy document in your province that has adjusted these slightly for your provincial requirements. And we need to also remember that in senior phase, as with any other phase, no learner should stay in the same phase for longer than 4 years, except under exceptional circumstances. So a learner can only repeat once within a phase.